I legitimately hate to make this video, but I think Father Time has finally truly started to come for LeBron James. I'm not one of those guys who's going to sit here and tell y'all he's washed, but he is pretty obviously not quite the same player that he was here even just a couple of years ago. And he's having more and more of these moments like tonight's game against the Timberwolves where stuff is just disastrous. I mean, 4 of 16, 0 of 4 from 3. Really rough game. Yes, on the second night of a back-to-back, but rough game. He's missed his last, 19 three-pointers, I believe is the stat that I looked at. He's having a rough go of it as of late. And what's insane is he's still playing, for the most part, for the season, very high-level basketball. And we'll talk about that as the video progresses. But look, I don't think the Lakers are true contenders in the West. I wanted to believe at the beginning of the season that they were, but I just don't think they have enough, with LeBron not being a top 5 player in the world anymore. Not on a lot of nights, not a top 10 or 15 or 20 player in the world anymore. Like, I still think as a whole, he's probably still a top 15 player in basketball, right? But not on a night to night basis the way that he used to be. And he's going to have more and more of these down nights. Look, he's 40 years old, or I guess he will be in less than a month. Like, let's cut the man some slack. He's still the greatest 40-year-old you've ever seen, and it's not even close. And I still think he's definitively the GOAT. But this was going to happen at some point, man. And it looks like it's finally happening. It's a shame to say, but it's true. And I think we should talk about it and how it affects the Lakers. Before we hop into the video, if y'all haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help me push towards the 1,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading every single day. Tons of consistent NBA content, multiple videos a day most days, and trying to get this channel monetized. So we'd really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's talk about it. Let's look at LeBron's stats for the season. He's averaging 22.5, 8 rebounds, 9.4 assists on pretty remarkable efficiency when you look at the numbers. 49% from the field, almost 36% from 3. But the thing to keep in mind is, like I said, he's missed his last 19 three-pointers over the past 4 games, which is rough. Now, yes, he had a disastrous game tonight. 4 of 16, didn't make a 3, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Lowest scoring game in a very long time for Bron, although he did keep the 10-point streak alive, which is good, I guess. Not that it really matters at this point. But he did, to be fair, last night have 27, 14, and 5. Like, let's not sit here and talk like LeBron's playing terrible. But at the same time, he's not quite as good this year as he has been at any point previously in his career, to be honest. His efficiency's a little bit down from last year. He's not shooting from inside the arc quite as well as he has throughout his career. The scoring numbers are down across the board. And I think most importantly, his turnovers are up a bit this year as well. I understand he's still getting tasked to try to do a lot offensively and lead the offense and carry the offense in a lot of ways offensively as a playmaker, but does feel like he's turning over the ball a little bit more this season as well, which is interesting to think about. But I just think, look, I saw a tweet that was pretty funny a couple days ago that I thought was super accurate. LeBron aging into, I forget exactly what the tweet said, but it said something along the lines of LeBron aging into prime Jason Kidd is quite a flex, was basically what the tweet said. And honestly, I think it's kind of funny. Like, prime J Kidd was a better defender than Bron is right now, to be honest, at least on most nights. Now, when Bron locks in defensively, he's still a very good, very impactful defender. But on most possessions, on most nights, he's not super locked in defensively. He's trying to save himself physically, and you can understand why. But I think the Lakers need more than prime J Kidd to have a chance to win a title this year. As good as Anthony Davis has been for most of the season, as of late, it's been a little bit, it's been a little worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think AD's a really, really good player. I really do. But I look at this team. Yes, I understand Austin Reeves didn't play tonight. They got some injury stuff going on. I don't see the depth. I realistically don't. I don't see the path to serious contention in a deep Western Conference. Even with AD playing, for the most part, incredibly high level basketball this year. Yes, some of his games recently haven't been quite as good, but dude, the guy is averaging almost 29 a game and 11.5 rebounds, doing it pretty efficiently and shooting the 3-ball as well as he has in years as well. The problem with the Lakers is D'Angelo Russell had a great offensive game tonight, but he's not a guy you can consistently count on to be a consistent offensive threat, and certainly not somebody you can count on to be consistent defensively. As good as connected, he's a rookie, and his offense is great. His defense, not so much. I mean, the defense could use some help. Rui Hachimura being your best perimeter defender in your night-to-night starting lineup is not a very good sign. Like, he's not an elite-level defender in his own right. He's fine, but they don't have great point-of-attack defenders. They don't have the guys to match up against elite-level guards and wings in the Western Conference, and every single team at the top of the West has an elite guard or elite wing. I mean, the Thunder have SGA, J-Dub. The Mavs have Kyrie and Luka. The Timberwolves, if you believe they're still one of the West's elite, have Anthony Edwards. The Suns have Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. I mean, even the Nuggets have Jamal Murray, and I get that he hasn't played that well this year, but he kills the Lakers every time he plays them, and they don't have an option for Jokic either. Jokic is the best player in the world. Like, at the end of the day, this team doesn't match up well defensively against any of the top teams in the West, and I have a hard time seeing how this old, questionable defensive roster is going to be able to seriously compete for a deep run in the Western Conference this year, and that's a shame to say. I feel like if they had a slightly better roster around Braun and AD, they would have a better chance at it, but I'm not sure I see the path right now to building that roster, because the problem is not something that's going to be fixed by adding one star or one guy. So realistically, when you look at the assets, yes, they have that 2029 unprotected first, 2031 unprotected first, a couple of seconds as well that they could trade. But do you really want to empty the cupboard for a team that is eighth in the standings right now? They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're -2.5 point net rating, middle of the pack offensively, middle of the pack defensively. Like, just not an elite level team, really, and honestly towards the bottom defensively. Like, this is a team that is mediocre offensively and not great defensively at all. Like, are you emptying the barrel and going all in to try to give Braun one last hurrah? Or do you just realize that, okay, we're probably going to lose in the first round again this year, and it kind of is what it is? Like, the West is so tough, and with teams like the Grizzlies looking so good, the Rockets looking awesome, the Clippers playing much more impressive basketball than I expected. With teams like that, do you almost wonder if the Lakers are going to make the playoffs? Like, they're going to make the play-in, I would assume. But there's 11 teams vying for 10 spots in the West, even if you don't seriously consider the Kings as a threat. And even then, 2 of those 10 teams that make the play-in are going to miss the playoffs. I don't think the Lakers are a top 6 seed at this point. I just don't. I think OKC's better. Houston's better. The Mavs are better. And then I believe there will be 3 teams of the Memphis, Golden State, LA, Suns, Nuggets, Spurs, Timberwolves group that finishes above the Lakers in the standings. I just don't have super high hopes for this team in terms of what they're going to turn this season into. But at the end of the day, man, expecting great things out of a 40-year-old in the first place is an unrealistic expectation and something that has been bestowed upon Braun in a way that it never has on any other 40-year-old. But he's met the expectations for so long that I think it's a little bit disappointing, even though he's playing as great as he still is. I mean, the numbers still say he's playing great. Yes, he's had some stinkers, but as a whole, he's playing unbelievable basketball. I just don't think it's quite good enough for the Lakers to compete anymore. And it's a shame, because this is probably the second to last season, if I had to guess, of Braun. Like, my guess is he'll play next year too, probably. I don't really know. I think he could play at a high-level role player level, really good, useful player still, for another 6 years probably, but I don't think he wants to do that. And it's a shame. I mean, look, time doesn't stop for anybody, and even LeBron James, Father Time's going to catch up to him eventually. It happened to Tom Brady to a certain extent, and Brady was still playing at a pretty high level when he retired, but this is how sports work, man. Just doesn't last forever, and we've been blessed. I mean, so blessed to watch Braun play basketball at this high of a level for this long, and these are memories that I will take with me for a lifetime, and I'm sure a lot of y'all will as well. So, not to get sentimental, but Braun has been an amazing part of the NBA, and really the biggest part of my love for basketball in a lot of ways throughout my childhood. So it's a pleasure to still watch him play basketball at a high level, even if it's not quite the same as what it used to be. And I hope that he could keep it going for as long as possible. And I will personally continue to cherish watching him play basketball, whether the Lakers are true contenders or not. With that being said, that's going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If y'all did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.